What it do, YouTube? What's up? What's up? Alright, so today's our actual debut episode of Wrestling Show Reviews. Tonight was the WWE MSG live event. Overall, this is not really pay-per-view quality as most people will expect, but it was actually a very good show. Had a very good live event, main event, really, and it was a very good one, I gotta say. But first of all, let's just start off with match ratings. The first match, which, by the way, I did not realize that I got my card wrong a little bit, so I want to apologize for that. It was actually advertised that Rusev and Ziggler was going to be going one-on-one, and Orton and Sheamus was going to go one-on-one. Funny thing is, they had a tag team match. So, I just want to say that as like, well, if your card does not match with what you're actually producing, that's kind of funny, or you basically had a clusterfuck, I guess. That's my honest opinion overall. But overall, match, it was kind of like what I expected it to be for it. I think they could have done more in that match. I'm guessing it's because they also wanted to give Lesnar some time, or Cena more time for their big matches, and they also wanted to put on the lesser show matches, which I have no problem with. Just letting y'all know. So what do I rate this match? I want to give it a 4 or 5 more than likely, because it did not impress me for just the quality of talent that was in that match. So I would rate this the lowest rated match on the card. But it's tying up with the Divas. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, just letting y'all know. It came with the end of Randy Orton basically getting the RKO on Sheamus after a Dolph Ziggler super kick. And then the reason why of that, just how that match went, and quality-wise, I mean, I've seen better Randy Orton tag matches. I've seen better Dolph Ziggler tag matches. Hell, I've even seen better Rusev tag matches. And Sheamus is my guy. I mean, I'm glad he's the Money in the Bank, but damn, this match could have gone better. Just saying. But I do like the fact that they spotlighted Orton, because one, I don't know what the hell he's going to be doing at this time. You know, what basically can happen? I mean, you have him go up against Braun Strowman on Raw, and then you have him have this match. I mean, I don't know what they have for Randy right now, and I just hope they have him doing something that's special, because he's a special talent, and, you know, there's a lot of special talent out there in wrestling, guys, and a guy like Randy Orton is main event material, and he can elevate so much of the other talent. So I just hope that they have something going for him right now. Other than that, this match was not really a classic, but then again, it's the opening match, in which, quite honestly, all 4 of the talent, I don't know why you put him as an opening match, but I guess you're just trying to get the crowd riled up. That's my honest opinion. But it's a 5 just because it was actually going to be a 4 just because of match quality wise, and thank God that Rusev had to throw a little temper tantrum and get his head knocked off by Sheamus. Because to me, when Sheamus does that to you and you're basically being a little bitch, and storyline and psychological wise, that's what Rusev was being, I say, Sheamus, kick that motherfucker's head off, because that guy, I mean, psychology wise, just needs it. And with Rusev going on with his thing with Lana and Dolph Ziggler, yeah, basically he needs his head kicked off for right now. Alright, next match I want to talk about will be the Neville versus Stardust match. Usually I always love Neville and Stardust going up against each other. They really have classic matches. This one tonight is a 6. Because, one, it wasn't as bad as the tag match. At the same time, like the tag match, it wasn't at the quality I was actually expecting for a Neville and Stardust match. So, they had a good match. Don't get me wrong. I mean, for a short match, that was a good one. And I'm pretty sure it was kind of entertaining, too. So that's why I gave it a 6 instead of a 5. So, Stardust and Neville gets a 6. Just because, one, they had a good quality short match, and then on top of that, it was entertaining. And it was just, it was easy to get into. Then our next match, we're going to get down to real serious business. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be throwing a lot of temper tantrum about the Divas Revolution. Which I'm going to clarify in a little bit. But to go on about the Divas match, this triple team, this team of 3 thing needs to stop. It just needs to stop. I mean, I understand what they're doing. I mean, I know a lot of people might not, but it's just, you're trying to build foundation to where basically all those divas that are currently involved with the Divas Revolution, and I know a lot of people have been giving them slack about, well, not slack, just been giving them a lot of nagging about Natty, because she's not part of it as much. I'm going to say this right now. That Divas match was a 5 or a 4, in my opinion. It wasn't terrible for a 6-man tag kind of deal. It wasn't that terrible, but it's redundant. And I know a lot of people hate redundant matches. And if you're doing redundant matches because of a rivalry, in my opinion, you should be more creative than this. But I'm glad that they're doing it with the storyline-wise. That's why it's a 5. Because storyline-wise, it's supposed to be Paige and Charlotte. Paige is basically jealous. So now, instead of, Paige being big goody with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, Paige is making her way to the Divas Championship more than actually going to get up against the Bellas. And I'm just going to say this to clear up any confusion about the Divas Revolution. Guys, don't hate what's going on right now. I just look at this Divas Revolution, and if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't care. But as far as the Divas Revolution goes, and I'm going to go into it shortly, it just began like 2-3 months ago. And it's still in the working process of the beginning. I mean, they're working to a genesis. And if you don't know what a genesis is, it just means it's the beginning. It's only the beginning. Now, what they're doing with this this team up bullcrap is really just basically to give, I guess, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks more exposure in a way, and Sasha's not even getting it in my opinion, but come Wednesday, I bet you she's going to get the spotlight of the lifetime with Bayley on TakeOver, so I wouldn't give up just yet on the Divas Revolution. And really, as far as the Divas go, if they want to make it more special with the Divas, give them 1 or 2 matches. Just give them 1 more match on Raw. Give them 2 matches on Raw. Instead of 1, just give them 2. Because that means you're actually showing the people that you care about the Divas. And really, as far as what they're doing right now, it might seem like bullshit to everybody, but there's got to be a foundation for each diva on that roster. Just like there's a foundation for every superstar on that roster. And on top of that, everybody needs to have some kind of storyline. And really, I can see a lot of possibilities just right now from this team thing. So hopefully, as we slowly go on, we'll see more of the Divas. And hopefully Natty gets a big push somehow. And maybe we'll get that WrestleMania match, dream match. Natty versus Charlotte. That's my opinion. Or Charlotte versus Sasha. Who knows? Or maybe a triple threat with Paige, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. We'll see. We'll see. Or, funny enough, maybe Bayley. But we'll see. We'll see. Just letting you know, it's only the beginning. This is the only beginning part of the Divas Revolution. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's just the beginning. Just like any other thing going on today. So, be patient. In fact, all of you in the IWC or who's a wrestling fan for WWE, TNA, you know, you cannot just have things presented to you right away. You have to get invested, and your superstars, let me tell you, bros, and this is whatever you guys want to call, yeah, take the time to invest in a superstar that you like. For me, when I was growing up as a kid, I was a big fan of Eddie Guerrero. Nobody never saw Eddie Guerrero becoming world champion in WWE when he first started out in WCW. But after time progressed, I mean, I thought he was just going to be some Bret Hart kind of guy. But then you see him slowly and slowly develop a character that he carried on to WWE and made it even better than it was in WCW. So, I say, as far as this Divas Revolution or anybody else, just get invested with somebody. I mean, you'll see a true superstar when you see it. And it will show. It will very much show. Okay, now let's look at it next. Alright, our next match. The Dudleys versus the New Day. Honestly, well, I'm supposed to go Jericho and Owens, but I'm going to go to the Dudleys and New Day because it was just an entertaining match. Devon, Bubba, Kofi, Big E, and Xavier had a great match. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was a classic tag match. And I would give the match itself a 7 just because. But what makes it special is the fact that Kofi, the way that they built it up, it made you feel like that, hey, the Dudleys were going to win the damn tag belts tonight. But you knew it wasn't going to happen, but you just wanted it to. Because, one, it's Madison Square Garden, and it's the damn Dudley boys, and basically New Day was plugging it in, saying that we're going to put the Dudley boys out of business, and they weren't going to win the tag team belts. But really, at the same time, when you plug it in like that, it's like you're encouraging your audience to say, oh yeah, we're going to put the belts on these guys. Just because these guys say they're going to beat them. But it's a good swerve. It had a good ending. I mean, it was very quick. I mean, Kofi going for a 3D for a finish, that was beautiful. I say next time, Big E needs to go in and So I think their next match or the next big match, the one that makes the Dudleys win the match, get the tables! A tables match, yes. And I think the Dudleys should bring Spike Dudley or Tommy Dreamer or somebody to help them out against this trio. But then again, they're doing just fine on their own. So that match was a 7. Now, match of the night, the one I was talking about last night about Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the IC Championship. Really, really good match. I rated it freaking 8.5 because, one, it was a very good match. It pointed out as if Jericho was going to actually win the Intercontinental because he was hyping up his anniversary, but I knew Kevin Owens was going to win. It was close to being a 9. It was going to be a straight up 9 in my opinion until the finish. I mean, it's a simple finish. it wasn't that great of a finish, but Jericho had Owens beat. I mean, if I think of it as basically 1999 and Owens and Jericho were going up against each other, Jericho most likely would have won. But since Jericho's a legend and trying to help a guy like Owens get more recognition and exposure, I'd say I kind of knew Kevin Owens was going to win. But you know what? Owens won, so it was a good match overall. I mean, Jericho had him in the walls of Jericho. The one thing I couldn't believe that we weren't going to see was going to be the pop-up powerbomb to be the finish. But what it looked like is, oh man, if they had a storyline between Jericho and Owens on Raw, it would be beautiful. It would be a beautiful storyline. I want to see more of that. You know, as far as wrestling storylines and wrestling matches, technical Class A matches. I mean, Jericho versus Owens would be an awesome feud and an awesome rivalry and an awesome storyline. I hope they actually get to work that, where the young guard goes up against the old guard, where basically Kevin Owens is going like this: you know what? You represented Canada for all those years. Hell, Chris, we look exactly alike. I mean, not by body type, but damn it, our careers are alike. Basically. The difference is, Chris, I'm better. I'm superior. I can beat you. And, you know, Jericho will give his typical, the old guard rundown. It's almost like how Chris was going up against Shawn, in my opinion. And I think that would have been a good... I think if WWE goes with that, I think a lot of people would tune in, seriously, just to see Jericho and Owens go at it. But the reason why the match has an 8.5 is because of the finish, which ended up being a small package after an eye poke from the Walls of Jericho. Like, really, Jericho's getting you into that Walls of Jericho and you're going to do this? I mean, as far as a finish goes, that is a sleazy way to win. But it's not the ideal way I've seen Owens beating Jericho and getting over on Jericho. Just being honest. I think Owens would beat Jericho clean like he did Cena the first time. So that's just my own opinion. Alright, and now let's get to the big business between Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. This is the match that hyped up the whole show. And I gotta say, it was a good match. A fairly good match. So, as an attraction-wise match, it gets a 9. Just because, for one, that was the most chokeslams in any match I've ever seen Big Show deliver to one person. That was just crazy. But the fact that the Big Show got Germaned 4 times. The Big Show got Germaned. That's something you will never, ever see with anyone else. I mean, who the hell can German suplex the Big Show other than Mark Henry or Brock Lesnar? And Mark Henry can't even do it. Brock can, though. So, and I was going like this during the match. That is a 9 on the Richter. That was a 10. That's a 11. That's a 12. And the F5 having, that's a 15. And then I thought it was all going to be done after that for that match. But for interaction wise, it was really worth it when Brock came out and did the overhead belly to belly on the Big Show. Now, analytically, as a fan, I can now understand why the belly-to-belly can work so perfectly with someone. Because when somebody tries to push you up like that, with the belly-to-belly, you as a partner, you're getting thrown over. You have to help give them that boost when they throw you over. So basically, when they throw you over, you're basically doing a jump forward roll for them, basically to sell it. But Big Show did a beautiful one, and you could tell he kind of did it, but it was still beautiful for his size. And I will think we'll never see that ever again. Just letting you guys know. Even if Big Show doesn't retire, and I know a lot of fans want him to, that was just wow. That turned it from a 15 to a 20 on a Richter of a magnitude earthquake in a match. And then it went back to a 15 after Brock finished him off with an F5. So the match is an overall 9 just because attraction rise, and wow, that's an OMG moment, really. And the only thing I can say that why I wouldn't make it a 10 out of 10 is just because the way that they tried to make it sound like, I don't know anything yet, but it sounded like they were saying that was Big Show's send-off or something, which I don't think it is. I don't really think so. I tried looking up on the headlines, and nobody's saying anything about Big Show retiring, but WWE, you made it sound like he was retiring. I'm sorry to say that. And if he is there going to be an announcement or what? But it made it sound that way. But fans, I'm just going to say this much. I know some of you hate the Big Show, but for what he did for Brock tonight in selling, that was Class A sell, and that was beautiful. For what the Big Show did, that was a beautiful sell. And as far as Brock going out there looking like a freaking beast, he doesn't look like the Hulk. He looks like the Brock Lesnar. Meaning, he could eat Hulk in one bite, make him into mush and juice, and shit out his blood. That's the kind of match. And then we have a Class A 9 match with it was technical, showman, and had a mixture of everything, but it's a main event match. It was Seth Rollins and John Cena in a cage. Honestly, for this United States Championship, it was a good quality match. Cena made Rollins look like $1 million. Rollins even made Cena look like $1 million, in my opinion. And I think this was actually a lot better. I think this is the match we should have had at SummerSlam. It was a very, very good match, and I give it a 9. I mean, the thing is, it was actually going to be a 7 at first, just because I'm like, okay, this is going to be the typical John Cena match with the United States title, where he's going to just pretty much get this guy to do all this kind of crazy stuff. He's going to do all these new moves and shit. But the fact that Seth Rollins jumped the cage, something that we have not seen in a very, very long time with cage matches. Thank you, WWE, for letting Seth Rollins jump the cage. I know you did it to get him away from Kane, but that was actually kind of beautiful. It was like, if this was classical ECW days, and if Seth Rollins missed, oh my god, that New York crowd would have been like, you fucked up, you fucked up, you fucked up. And really, good match. It's a good build for that Kane and Seth Rollins rivalry. I know a lot of people might not be into it as much, but it's working for me. I mean, I actually like it. So overall, I'm gonna give this show a 7.5. Hits an up from SummerSlam, in my opinion. SummerSlam was just a 7. This is a 7.5. 7.5 because match qualities were a lot better. On top of that, we had a great attraction match. So that was beautiful. And then we had a great Intercontinental match. The Dudleys did very well in a 8. I rated it in whatever, but that match was good for entertainment. Overall, it was good. I enjoyed it, and the only thing I can say much more is for the fans, guys, be patient with the Divas Revolution. I'm pretty sure they're working up to something big, but they need to get from point A to point B before they can give you point Z. cannot just get pointy right away. I mean, I know you want that Daniel Bryan moment right now, but let me tell you, that moment has to come with a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E and F. So, it's like reading your favorite book. You gotta read chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 before you can actually enjoy the best chapter of the book, which might be 5 or 6 or 7. So, I say let time progress and we'll see what they're gonna do. And just letting you guys know, your voice does freaking count. Make it count, damn it. Because they are listening. They want to know who you are really into. The only reason why they made Charlotte Divas champion right now, just like Paige said, is because of Rick. But in my opinion, I think we all know who we really want to see win that Divas belt, and that would have been Sasha. That's my opinion. But honestly, I think the Divas matches are on their way to getting better. I think it's up to us as fans to speak up and say, who do we freaking want as our Divas champion? Because it already made sense to put Charlotte as a Divas champion. But what about girls like Becky or Naomi or Paige again, or maybe even Foxy again, or even Natty for that matter, or even for basically the fan favorite Sasha Banks. So let's be patient with this and let's let our voice be heard. So that's all I'm gonna say. And if you think they don't listen to you, you're fucking full of shit. They do listen to you, but they listen to what the majority says should be champion. So, and they're gonna work up to it, guys. I mean, it cannot just be one person show. It's a dance. I mean, a great dance does not happen without 1 or 2 people or 3 people or even a whole team. So, right there, let's just be patient with that Divas Revolution. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get better later on. We're only in the we're only in the Genesis part of this Divas Revolution Bible. Just letting you know, we're only in Genesis. So let's go. Let's be patient. Let's get invested in who we really want. Because once they know who we really want, that's who they're gonna push. It's like that even for the WWE title. So, guys, your voice counts. If you don't believe me, it does. Alright, and also, I'm not going to probably get a chance to watch Bound for Glory because I can't afford the pay-per-view, and I don't know anybody who has a free stream, but if anybody does have streams, send me one, please. But I'll give you my thoughts when I actually read the spoilers, if I can, or the results. So, there, and if you guys want to know who I think should win the Bound for Glory world title match, it's a really tough one because I like Drew Galloway as a main eventer. I mean, I think he could be a real top star and a great world champion. So we'll see how that goes. Really, I don't trust TNA's writing. Just letting you guys know, but I'm hoping for either one of those guys to win that TNA championship. I'm not gonna say world championship because PWI doesn't recognize it. Sorry. So, but Matt Hardy, EC3, Drew Galloway. That's a really tough decision for me, and I gotta say, I would, if I were a fan who's watching Bound for Glory tomorrow, I'd say just enjoy the fucking match. It'd probably be real good and good quality. Because TNA's talent are known to give good quality matches. Very good qualities. Probably around 7s or 8s. But the problem is, it's just their writing in TNA. The creative and the writing staff in TNA. I can spend a whole video on that. And if you guys want, just let me know. Alright, boos and whoos. Well, I say, everyone have a good night. I hope you guys enjoyed MSG. And if you haven't watched it yet, you better get the WWE Network to watch it. If not, I hope that you guys can watch it on YouTube later. So, other than that, good night, everyone. Peace out.